So, when you walk into a massive, beautifully designed building, you just see the polished marble and the perfect lighting. You definitely don't see the blueprints.
Right, or the hidden load-bearing walls keeping the whole thing from coming down.
Exactly. The architecture is totally invisible by design. And, well, the same principle applies to systemic power.
Yeah, it really does.
Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a very different kind of blueprint today. We're unpacking this exhaustive academic and legal report on the architecture of institutional complicity. Basically, the systemic ways organizations enable and protect high-profile abusers.
It is fascinating stuff.
It really is. Our mission here is to decode the exact psychological and legal playbooks that elite networks use to obscure exploitation. So, giving you the tools to spot these institutional red flags in the real world.
Because this whole architecture relies on a foundation built way before any lawsuits are ever filed. The report highlights this concept called strategic ignorance. Institutional leaders intentionally build these information silos.
I always pictured a cover-up as, executives frantically shredding documents in a dark room somewhere.
I know, right? But it's actually so much more bureaucratic than that. They suppress internal reporting structurally.
Yeah.
They might route all harassment complaints through an external law firm just to intentionally hide the findings under attorney-client privilege.
Oh, wow.
Or they deploy NDAs at the lowest HR levels. The goal is just to ensure verifiable evidence never officially reaches the executive suite. It creates this highly organized state of not knowing.
So they can safely claim they lacked actionable evidence. That makes so much sense. I keep thinking about moral decoupling in pop culture, like when fans separate the art from the artist to keep enjoying a movie or a song. Are institutions doing the exact same thing in the boardroom?
Oh, absolutely. But they do it mathematically.
Yeah.
Moral decoupling basically neutralizes guilt. In a corporate setting, a board will look at a toxic rainmaker and completely isolate their revenue generation from their behavior. They view the abuser's financial or social success as essential to survival, which allows them to, compartmentalize and just ignore the harm.
But moral decoupling only works until it doesn't. The moment a whistleblower breaks through that information silo, the institution can't really play dumb anymore. They have to pivot from passive ignorance to active defense.
Yeah, and the playbook escalates immediately to aggressive legal warfare. Organizations deploy what the report calls institutional DARVO.
Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender.
You got it. Practically, this looks like a corporate press release that denies the events, attacks the whistleblower's mental health or financial motives, and just aggressively frames the institution itself as a victim of a coordinated smear campaign.
That is so manipulative.
It is. And when the actual litigation hits, they deploy their ultimate shield, which is Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Wait, Chapter 11. Isn't that just what companies use when they run out of money and need to restructure debt? How does a corporate financial loophole apply to an abuse cover-up?
It's a devastating legal maneuver, honestly. When entities like USA Gymnastics or the Catholic Church file for Chapter 11, it triggers an automatic stay.
What does that actually do?
It instantly halts all civil lawsuits and legal discovery. It literally stops victims from deposing enablers or demanding internal documents.
So it just freezes the clock.
It's actually worse. The courts can approve these things called third-party releases. Imagine you are suing a massive organization for abuse. A third-party release legally immunizes complicit, non-bankrupt executives and wealthy donors from any future trials.
Wait, really? It protects their personal assets?
Yes. It traps victims in these negotiated settlement trusts, while the individuals who look the other way literally walk free.
That feels like impenetrable armor. If you can't even subpoena the people who enabled the abuse, how do you actually dismantle this system?
Well, we are seeing a massive paradigm shift in the courts right now. Prosecutors are transitioning from viewing the bystander effect as, passive negligence to treating it as an active crime of complicity.
Oh, that is a huge shift.
It is, but before it ever reaches a courtroom, the ultimate weapon against this architecture is counter-ignorance.
Meaning the people inside the silo who refuse to play along.
Exactly, the whistleblowers. The report points to people like Sang Swenson in the MIT and Jeffrey Epstein scandal. She broke the culture of silence by exposing how funding was deliberately concealed to bypass institutional review.
Right, and Dr. Jennifer Freyd calls the required response to this institutional courage. It's basically the opposite of DARVO.
Yes. It demands that organizations proactively investigate their own vulnerabilities, publicly apologize, and actually cherish whistleblowers, rather than retaliating against them.
Understanding this architecture isn't just about massive celebrity scandals, though. It empowers you to recognize betrayal blindness and toxic power dynamics in your own workplace or community.
Because these systems completely rely on our collective silence to function. The longer an institution enables an abuser, the more catastrophic the fallout becomes.
Which leaves you with this to think about. We've focused heavily on how institutions protect individuals, but consider the psychological flip side, which is institutional betrayal.
Right, the profound trauma that happens when a system you trust, whether a hospital, a church, or a university, turns against you to protect itself.
Exactly. It begs the question, in the communities you belong to, are you inadvertently valuing loyalty over truth? What kind of behavior is your organization rewarding people for keeping quiet about?